What's up guys? In this video I want to talk to you about a pretty interesting topic and something that I observed over the last few years as I slowly built up my online business and as I'm continuing to do so, and that is how my sales and my closing rate more specifically have kind of like skyrocketed once I went from making like 1-2K a month maybe, where I was really like having to pray for the next client all the time, the next payment to come in, so I can meet my expenses and all that, and then going to 5 to 10K, like my sales rate and my closing rate really just like skyrocketed again. And I was wondering, like, what's the reason for this? Why does this happen? Like, did I become that much better of a salesman, or what's the deal really? And to some extent, sure, like I did definitely become better at sales as I did more of it, which is, it kind of makes sense. But also I think to some extent another part of it is that basically as you get to the point where you aren't that hungry or like you don't need the next client desperately that much, you can become a lot better at sales because you are more clear-headed. First of all, like you don't worry that much about closing that client because you don't need that that much. Like it's not something that is of huge importance to you, because if you're making 5-10K a month, you have a couple 10 G's in savings, like that next client for a couple grand is not really going to save your life or change anything for that matter. Sure, you want to make sure you close as many as possible and so on, but it's not going to be life changing. Whereas if you're just on the very low end of the scale, and then it's really life changing if you get a new client. So you cannot think as clearly if you're in that position, and also like people can sense if you need them more than they need you, right? So I think a pretty good analogy and example of this, and like positioning in general, or like power positioning, is if you are into watches, that there are a couple brands that are in a unique position where people want to buy from them more than they want to sell, because they managed to position themselves that way in the market. So for example, one of the most popular ones is Rolex, right? Like there are actually more people who want to buy Rolexes than they make. So it creates this weird position where people feel insanely lucky and happy when they get a call from Rolex that they can pick up a watch. Even if it's not the exact watch they want, they still feel extremely lucky to be able to spend 10 or multiple tens of thousands at the store. But on the other hand, if you're not talking about Rolex, AP, and Patek, which are like kind of the most wanted watches, let's say there is Omega, right? Omega still makes incredible watches. Like their quality is oftentimes like same as Rolex or even better, right? But there isn't really that sort of want for it in the market. Like they aren't as popular, right? People don't want them that much. So anyone can just walk into an Omega store and pick up a watch from them, and it's still a really nice watch, but it doesn't feel that special. It feels more like Omega wants your business than you want the watch. Whereas on the other side of things, you want that Rolex more than they want you. And this is a very big difference in power kind of dynamics in the sales setting, because Rolex doesn't have to do any selling at this point in their boutiques, right? Because so many people want their watches that they are more like just order takers. And then you put down your order at Rolex. If you're lucky, you'll get a call back one day. You go in and you buy it, and you're happy that you bought it, and you didn't need any sort of convincing. Whereas if you go into an Omega, like the sales guy actually has to try to do something. Now, where am I going with this? I think this is kind of the same thing in online business as well, that if you manage to get to the point where you have a good level of security and safety, where you don't need the next customer as much as they need you, then you're going to first of all talk a lot differently on your sales calls, right? So people can immediately sense that. They can also sense that you are way more secure and your worth. and that also makes it easier. And at the same time, it's funny, like there is this reverse psychology happening where the more the client feels like you don't need them, the more they actually want to work with you. Just like the more you know that like Rolex doesn't need you to buy a watch from them, or they don't want to sell you one, the more you want it, right? Because you know that they don't want to sell it to you, and like it's not easy to get it. Like if you could just walk in, buy it anytime, it wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be as special. So basically, if you're in a position right now where you are not that safe yet, right? You don't have that sort of security, then what you can do is you can, and I know this is like easy to say and kind of hard to implement, but I had to go through this myself, is you have to kind of act like it already happened, right? You have to, before every sales call, or you don't have to, but like I'm just sharing what helped me a lot. And that is, before every sales call, I would kind of like sit down for 5 minutes and imagine that I already had, many clients working with me. And I try to just kind of meditate for 5 minutes and get detached from needing to get a yes in my mind. Because before I do this exercise, I would really want to make sure that I get, a yes from the client. I have really high expectations for a call, and I really want to make sure that I close it. But if I can think through it, get very calm, and kind of like imagine I'm already doing good, like I don't even need this client, to be honest, they need me more, then it gets a lot easier to stay calm throughout the whole sales call and just close them. They can sense it in your energy. So obviously in the beginning, it's gonna feel like you're kind of faking it or that it's not really real, but you do this for a long time, you progress in your business, you keep building it, you keep getting better at your craft, getting your clients amazing results, and then eventually pretty fast you're gonna get to that point where you don't actually need that next client that bad, and then it's just gonna get better and better. So I just thought this is like a very interesting concept, and I thought about it a lot the past few days. I'm in Portugal right now on a family vacation, decided to stay for a few more days after this week. So I just thought I would record this video for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you are a creative entrepreneur, freelancer, or agency owner, and you're looking to scale a creative agency to 10K plus, and you want some help with it, book a call in the description below if you're interested in working with me one-on-one. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.